I had this dream, not the kind you say out loud, but the kind you carry, quietly, like something fragile in your chest. I'd wake up before the alarm. Practice shots before the sun showed up, first one on the field, last one to leave. Didn't tell anyone how much I wanted it. Didn't want to jinx it. Didn't want to sound desperate. But inside, I was hoping. Hard. Every week, I watched the older players, how they moved, how they passed. I studied them like they were poetry. And when coach said tryouts are next Friday, I wrote it down 3 times. I skipped my cousin's birthday. Didn't play online with the others. Stopped going to the hangout spot after class. Because I had something to prove. The night before tryouts, I placed my jersey on the chair. The one with my name stitched by Mom. Ironed it twice. Smoothed out the sleeves. Tried it on once, then again, just to see how I'd look. As part of the team, I didn't even sleep much. Too many fake interviews in my head. How does it feel to be selected? I worked for it, I'd say. That morning, I jogged to school. No music, no friends, just me. Me, and a heartbeat that wouldn't calm down. Coach had a clipboard, the kind of clipboard that decided futures. And I told myself, just show him your heart. I ran every drill like it was my last. Passed like I'd practiced 1,000 times, tried to smile, stay calm, but every fiber in me was screaming, see me, pick me. Tryouts ended. He said the list would be posted Monday on the old corkboard near the library. That weekend? Longest one of my life. I checked the school portal. Nothing. Refreshed again and again. Then came Monday. The hallway felt louder. People walking faster. Or maybe it was just my nerves. I reached the corkboard. Crowd already there. People cheering. Some hugging. I waited, tried to stay cool like I wasn't shaking. When I saw the list, my name wasn't on it. Just empty space where I thought it'd be. Line after line, but not mine. I stared too long, hoping it would just appear. Like magic, like maybe I missed it. But I hadn't. People around me smiled. One of them said, "Hey, you gave it your all, bro." I nodded, said, "Yeah, it's all good." But it wasn't. I turned, walked past the library, down the stairs, out the gate. And I didn't look back. I walked home slower than usual. Way slower. Like maybe time would forget to move forward. My bag felt heavier, like it knew. There was this knot in my chest. Tight, silent, ugly. I passed by the park, the same one where I practiced. Didn't even glance at the goalpost. Didn't want it to see me like this. Like I failed. When I reached home, Mom asked, "How was tryout day?" I smiled, the kind of smile you fake, and said, "All good. Results next week, I think." She nodded, went back to stirring the pot. I climbed to my room, closed the door soft. Didn't want it to creak. Didn't want anything to be loud right now. I took off the jersey, the one I had ironed, folded it once, then again. Then I tossed it into the drawer. Shut it. It made a louder sound than I expected, made me flinch. I opened my journal, the one I barely showed anyone, and wrote, "Maybe I wasn't enough." Just that, 5 words. But they echoed louder than any crowd ever had. Next few days? Blur. In class, I stared at the whiteboard, but didn't really see it. Just the names I saw on that list. Over and over. Lunchtime felt longer. Everyone was talking about practice, the new drills, the new team. Someone even said, "You should have made it, man." I smiled again and nodded, but my chest kept saying, "You didn't." I kept hearing it, even when no one was around. "You didn't. You weren't picked. You weren't enough." I started leaving school as soon as last bell rang. No more watching from the bleachers, no more waiting around, just walk, straight home. No music, no detours, no dreams. Only one thing still kept me anchored. That journal. I wrote more. Didn't know why. Maybe just to let the ache out somewhere. Because saying it out loud felt impossible. But paper, it never looked away. A week passed. Then 2. Nobody mentioned the tryouts anymore. Not directly, at least, but I still noticed it. The practice bags in the hallway, the cleats in lockers, the tired but happy faces. It stung. Less now, but it still stung. One afternoon, I stayed late, not sure why. Just didn't feel like going home yet. Maybe I was tired of feeling invisible. I walked to the back staircase near the gym, sat there with my journal, writing nothing in particular, just lines, thoughts. That's when I heard the voice. "Still here?" It was Coach, holding a whistle and a clipboard. I stood up quickly, almost dropped my pen. Yeah, just finishing something." He nodded, didn't ask what, didn't need to. Then he sat on the stair behind me, which surprised me. "You showed up early every day," he said. "You stayed late, never missed a single warm-up." I didn't say anything. He went on, I saw the way you passed, the way you focused. I looked at him, confused. Then, why wasn't I picked? He gave a soft exhale. Picking isn't always about who's good now. Sometimes it's about who fits today's shape. But I remember effort, he added, and I remember attitude. He stood up, slung the whistle around his neck. Team's got enough players, but we don't have someone to mentor the junior group. He looked at me. You in? I didn't answer right away. Honestly, I didn't know what to feel. Was this a pity offer, a backup role? But Coach didn't wait for praise. He just nodded like he already knew. You think about it. Then he left. I sat there, wind brushing against my notebook, and I wrote, maybe, not being picked isn't the end. I looked at that sentence, underlined it, twice. That night, I didn't sleep right away. I kept replaying Coach's words. Sometimes it's about who fits today's shape. But I remember effort. And that question, you in? It sat with me, not loud, but constant. Next morning, I walked past the usual hallway. The corkboard was empty now. No more tryout lists, no more names to search. Still hurt a little, but not the same way. I stopped near the field. The junior kids were warming up, messy, loud, some of them chasing butterflies instead of balls. Coach spotted me, didn't say anything, just tossed me a spare whistle. I caught it, held it, felt weird in my hand, but not wrong. One kid tripped trying to juggle. Another kicked the ball right into a fence. I walked over, kneeled beside the kid on the ground. You okay? I asked. He nodded, but looked embarrassed. I smiled. Falling's allowed. Just don't forget to laugh. He laughed. Small, nervous, but real. Another kid came up, said, Can you show me that turn you did during tryouts? I blinked. You saw that? Yeah, he grinned. It looked cool. I looked down at the ball, then back at him. Okay, I said, but only if you promise not to judge my socks. He laughed. The other kids gathered around, and just like that, I was teaching. I wasn't on the team, I wasn't wearing the jersey, but somehow I still belonged. I found myself moving again, calling drills, encouraging tiny wins. They weren't pros, but they were trying, like I once did. And I saw pieces of my old self in them. The nervous ones, the eager ones, the quiet ones waiting to be seen. Maybe that's why I stayed. A few weeks passed. I kept showing up. Same time, same staircase, same whistle. The jersey stayed in the drawer, still folded, still mine. But now, I wore something else. A look that said, I'm still here. The juniors knew my name now. Some called me Coach Light. One even drew me in their sketchbook with spiky anime hair and a giant soccer ball. I laughed in a way I hadn't in a while. And then something happened. One of the kids was practicing alone, off to the side, missing every shot. I walked over. Need help? He didn't look up, just said I wasn't picked. The way he said it, I knew that voice, knew that ache. I nodded. Sat next to him. Yeah, same. He turned, eyes surprised. You? But you're helping us. I smiled. Exactly. He didn't say anything after that. Just stood and kicked again. This time he hit the net. Not perfectly, but it went in. He beamed like he had just scored in the World Cup. And that moment, that hit different because it wasn't about me anymore. It was about what I gave after I didn't get. That night I opened my journal again, wrote slowly with no sadness, just truth. I wasn't picked, but I showed up, and somehow that counted more. Final scene? Me on the field, junior kids practicing. One falls, one scores, one waves at me across the pitch, and I wave back. Not as a player, not as a pick, but as someone who mattered anyway.